Okay, thanks, Doug, and hi, everyone. I want to thank you also for joining us today. And so the reason that we're doing this webinar is that because in spite of all of the current events, we've been getting a lot of new agents asking questions about how to work with us and asking for some training on our products. So I'm not sure if it's because people have some more downtime or if they're just wanting to take this opportunity to plan for next year, but whatever the case, we thought this would be a good opportunity to make information about working with us as easily accessible as possible. So I'm going to go over some of the most important things to know about booking a tour with us, what that process looks like, what to expect, and some commonly asked questions about our product. So like Doug said, don't hold any questions back. I want to address them as they come up. So if you're thinking about working with us, all right, technical difficulties here. Oh, there we go. Okay, then you're probably going to want to know who we are, right? So a little bit of background about us. We're a third-generation family-owned and operated company specializing exclusively in escorted European tours. We were founded in 1939 in Amsterdam by Roelof Postma Sr., and it was originally called Mhagi Tours, which is derived from the Dutch acronym meaning the most satisfaction and best quality in travel for less money. This is a picture of our current staff. I'm there on the front and the left. We began providing services in the U.S. as a tour operator in 1960 when Roelof Postma Jr. came to Grand Rapids, Michigan as an exchange student during his college years. And it was during that time that he organized the first Heart of Europe tour for students and faculty and civic organizations in Michigan. And the company is now owned by his daughter, Monique Kosmauskas, and her husband, Mike, who are the front two there. As the company pursued new advertising strategies, Mhagi Tours was changed to Image Tours, which is our current name, in the hopes that it would be easier for clients to remember that name. And then in 1986, we made the decision to no longer sell tours directly to clients, and instead all of our tours are going to be sold exclusively through travel agencies, which is reinforcing that positive relationship with our travel partners, and it eliminates any competition for business with our partner agents. We are members of TAP, Travel Alliance Partners, the American Bus Association, the NTA, the OSSN, ASTA, and we're a top tour operator. We are a respected organization in the European tour market, competing with larger operators by successfully maintaining the integrity of the motto, superior value with a personal touch. So I'm going to take you to our partner agents website. This is a website that a lot of our new agents aren't super familiar with. It has all the information we're going to need for this training and then some. So if you're interested in working with us, the first thing I would suggest doing is going to this website and digging around a little. And that's going to be partneragents.imagetours.com. So leaving it up on the screen for just a sec here. Go to that website. So you see that welcome partner agents up at the top there, and that's how you know you're at the right place. We're going to start with a little bit about our pricing. So one of our many advantages is that we offer air-inclusive pricing to clients from an airport near them. And during this part of the training, we'll teach you how to quote a client with an air-inclusive price from their local airport. So if you do have one of our brochures at home, I would suggest taking that out and following along with that. But if not, that's okay. I'm going to pull up PDF versions of everything on the screen here. So we've got two pricing guides. The first one is the 2020 Dates and Prices Guide here, and then the 2020 Europe Special Dates and Prices Guide. So we have 4 tours that are round trip from Frankfurt, like in and out of Frankfurt. So for those 4 tours, which is going to be the Heart of Europe Circle Tour, the Germany, Austria, Switzerland Tour, and the Capitals of Central Europe Tour, and the World War II Memorial Tour, you're always going to quote them from this guide instead of the regular 2020 Dates and Prices Guide. While they appear in both guides, it's a little bit of a higher price in the Dates and Prices Guide. We're able to get a heavily discounted air price, and that's why we're able to show it at a better price in this special guide, but it appears in both guides because in case that deal with airlines goes away, then it shows what the price would be if Image Tours couldn't get that price for the client. So You can also, as a travel agent, show the client how they're saving, so you can compare them. Like when they're like, how am I saving this much money? You can show what the price would be. So we're actually going to start, though, with the regular dates and prices guide. And on the front page, our current available discount is always going to be displayed. Right now, we're able to offer $200 per person off, as you can see right there. So keep that $200 per person in the back of your mind for a minute here. We're going to scroll down to page 2, and this is our departure cities. This is every airport that we can do air from in the U.S. You would find the airport closest to your client and then find the zone listed next to that airport, which are numbers here. And in this example, we're going to use a client from Grand Rapids, Michigan. So if you follow my cursor, we're going to highlight Grand Rapids, Michigan. That's zone 14 right there. So now we're keeping $200 per person off and zone 14 in the back of our heads. Now we're going to scroll down to page 4, which is this one here. We're going to use the Heart of Europe Circle Tour as our example because it's our most popular itinerary, but it's going to work for the same way in any of the other boxes with any of our other tours here. So getting back to here. Say we have clients that are wanting to travel on September 2nd on the Heart of Europe Circle Tour. And remember, our clients from Grand Rapids, which is zone 14. So we're going to go to the left-hand side here, find their September 2nd departure date. And then we're going to follow along this column here till we get, this row here until we get to the column that has zone 14 at the top. So that's going to bring us to a price of $4,590. Now there's 2 steps that you're going to do before we give the final price to the client. We're going to add the travel protection plan, which is right here. It's $249 per person. So that's going to bring us to a price of $4,839. And then we're going to subtract that current discount that I asked you to keep track of there, which is $200 per person, from that price. So that leaves us with $4,639. And that's the price for your client. That includes their air from Grand Rapids.
Sophia?
Then a couple of, yes.
I'm sorry, we have a question.
Yes.
While you're on the air subject.
Cool.
Do you offer air from
Go for it.
Do you offer air from Canadian airports?
We do not offer air from Canadian airports.
Okay.
Yeah. Was that the only question?
That was it. Yep. I'll interject
Okay,
when we
cool.
have others. Thanks.
Okay, cool. So then moving on there, all of the airports that we can do air from are listed here. If it's not on here, then that means that we don't offer it from there. So the travel protection plan, it's optional, but we highly suggest that the clients purchase that. And that's, if you just look at everything that's going on in the world right now, I'm sure some people who didn't purchase travel insurance are probably wanting or wishing that they had. So it's just such a good idea to be purchasing that travel protection. It covers clients for pre-existing conditions. It covers them while they're traveling in Europe. And if they cancel for a covered reason while they're under full payment, then you would still get your commission as your agents.
Sophia, we have another question here. I'm sorry, another quick question for you. Are these prices per person or per couple?
So they're per person based on double occupancy. So that price that I gave you, the $4,639 for someone going from Grand Rapids, that's a single person's price. If you've got 2 people going, then it's going to be double that. But if you've got a single traveler, Image Tours doesn't do like a roommate program. So we have a single supplement at the bottom here that you would add that to the price. So $4,639 plus $815 would be the price for somebody going by themselves.
Great, thank you.
And I hope that answers that question. So back on track. So since we're talking about the air, I'm gonna explain a little bit about how that works. We use bigger airlines like Delta and United. We've also got longer connection times, and they're usually about 4 to 6 hours. and that's because we want to avoid clients missing their international connections. Over the years, we found that domestic flights can be delayed for any number of reasons, and if clients miss that international flight, then they could end up missing a whole day of their tour, and we do those longer connection times to avoid that situation. So if you've got a client that's like, oh my God, I have a 6-hour layover, that's why. Now, if you have a client that's picky when it comes to flying, for example, they want first class or they only use a specific airline, we have a tour-only option for them. And that price is listed in the top left-hand corner here. Oh, the whole thing got highlighted. So that's for this Heart of Europe Circle Tour, it's $3,040 for the tour only. So you would use the same price quoting process that we just went through. You add the travel protection plan, and then you subtract the discount that's on the front cover. If they choose this tour-only option, then you would have to purchase air for the client or have the client do it themselves. So it's a lot easier on you if you just have them do the air through us, but if you have somebody that's real picky, then that option is available for you. There's no questions on that. Then we're going to move over to the Europe Special Dates and Prices Guide. Like I said, those are the 4 tours you're going to quote from here. Here we've got all of our airports again. So it's listed with letters instead of numbers in this guide. So if you've got a client at home and they're trying to figure out what their price is and you're on the phone with them and they list a letter, then you know which guide to be looking in to help them work through it. So we're going to use that Grand Rapids Grand Rapids Airport again. It's Zone C. Then we're going to scroll down to our Heart of Europe Circle Tour and use that September 2nd departure again, and then scroll over here to Zone C, and we've got 4,240. Now, these prices are already inclusive of every discount that we offer. So that's including the discount deal that we have with the airlines and that $200 per person discount that we're able to offer in general. And so once we add the travel protection plan, then our price is going to be $4,489. So if you compare that to the undiscounted price from the first guide that we talked about, that $4,839, that's including no discounts, then they're saving $350 per person because of discounts we can get them from air, and then with that $200 per person discount, that's the general discount, which ends up being $700 savings per couple. And it does change it changes from the different dates and in the different tours, but it's always going to be $600 to $1,000 per couple. So if your client's wondering, where's that discount coming from, then this is how you can show them where it's coming from. So then that's pretty much it with the pricing guides. So if there's no more questions about that, then I'm going to move over to the reservation application. That is this right here under co-op info. So this is arguably the most important part of making a booking with us. Every client who goes on one of our trips needs to fill out one of these reservation applications, and they can be found on the last page of our brochure. So each client must receive that application with the brochure. And that's because when they sign this, they are acknowledging that they've received a copy of the brochure. It's got the tour contract in there, so you can't just send them the PDF. And so I'm going to go over a few key points on the application, but make sure that they're reading the whole thing and filling out it all completely. So the first thing I want to point out here is the name section. Since we're doing air most of the time, that name right here, it has to appear exactly as it does on their passport, so no nicknames or anything like that. And then we'll move to the travel protection section down here. When you make a booking with us over the phone, the travel protection plan is always going to be added automatically. If the client chooses to decline that protection, then we will remove it once we receive this application and they've checked this box in writing saying they want to decline the travel protection. So then moving on down here, we've got the payment section here. Included with this application needs to be the client's $250 per person deposit and the travel protection premium if they've chosen to get the protection. And so for a maximum total of $499 per person on this form. Something to point out, the clients cannot make a full payment on this form, so that full $4,639, they can't make that on this form. you will receive an invoice in your email immediately after making the reservation, so they can make a full payment on that invoice if that's what they're wanting to do. The types of payments that we accept are credit cards from clients and ACHs from clients. We don't accept checks from clients. And then we accept agency checks and agency ACHs, but not agency credit cards. And the types of cards that we accept from the client are Visa, MasterCard, and Discover. And then we also always require a signature with our credit cards. There's no over-the-phone payments or stored card information. And that signature is going to be here on this document. And then on the invoice, there's also a place for a signature as well if they're making a credit card payment. So speaking of payments, you're probably wondering, okay, when is the payment going to be due? We offer a 7-day reservation courtesy hold for travel agents that are calling in. That means that if you have an interested client, you can call us and hold their spot for 7 days. By the end of that 7 days, we're going to need to have received this reservation application with the deposit and premium for the protection if they're getting that. So then the final payment, if they're not making a full payment immediately on that invoice that you get in your email, is going to be due 90 days before the tour is scheduled to depart. However, on your agent copy of the invoice, it's going to say 80 days. And that's because we've all met that person and we all have that client that likes to wait till the last minute and then things are late. So we built in a little bit of wiggle room for you guys as agents. And then lastly, at the bottom left here, we've got this reservation ID section. When you make a booking with us, you'll get a reservation ID or a confirmation number. We call it a couple of different things. And put that number on this application when you send it in to us so that we can easily keep track of the booking in our system. And then on the right-hand side here, there's this green box that says travel agency name and address. Make sure you're putting your stamp or your sticker, whichever you use, in that box so that the client knows that they're sending this back to you. Because again, as a reminder, we don't work directly with clients. So then the next thing I want to bring up is near the end of our brochure, we've got a frequently asked questions section. In our 2020 version, it starts on page 63. So if you have our brochure, I would suggest reading through that. If not, as everything is here on this website as well, just click on that reservation application and the frequently asked questions is here as well. About 80% of the questions that your clients are going to be asking can be found in here. And if not, then you can call us and we'll be there to answer. We strive to have a live person available every time you want to call us with questions. That's pretty much it with the brochure and the reservation application. So then we're going to move back over to our slideshow here.
Sophia, while you're switching over, I have a quick question for you.
Okay.
Somebody's wondering what the maximum number of travelers on each tours are.
So our tour buses hold 53 people, but we cap them at 46 because we want to make a little bit of extra room for comfort. So yeah, 46 would be the maximum number. Sometimes it's a little bit less than that, but it will always be maximum 46.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem. Oh, wait, I don't want the main from the beginning. That's not right. We want to go here. So the follow-up process. We have about 200 agency partners that are actively working in advertising with us, and they book us every year. And through trial and error, we have come up with this process that can help you increase your bookings with us. So when a client expresses interest in our tours to you, we suggest that you mail the client a brochure along with a brochure cover letter. And that's because this allows you to obtain the client's mailing address that you can use for future advertising. And it also builds in a follow-up because you'll have to call the client and make sure that they got that brochure. So it builds in that opportunity to talk to them again. So then we've created a cover letter for you. Again, on our handy dandy website here, we've got promo items, brochure cover letter. And this introduces the client to the information that's going to be in the brochure. And then also it introduces you to the client if they're not familiar with you, but if they are familiar, it's just like that reintroduction, that personal touch that makes the client really appreciative and feel like you're there for them, working for just them. And our partner agents, our 200 plus partners are all using this and they find it really helpful. So then the next thing that we suggest is that, like I said, a week after you send that brochure, give the clients a follow-up phone call. Make sure that they got it, because if they didn't get the brochure, then you really can't do much more with the sale because they don't have the information about the itineraries. So then third, we suggest that you send a follow-up letter. Again, we've got that template here from the promo items, and this is just another touch to the client, because at this point they've probably lost the brochure, or maybe they've buried it under a pile of stuff on their table, and this is just bringing Europe back to the forefront of their minds, bringing you back to the forefront of their minds. And then lastly, about a week before the discount deadline, we suggest that you give them another follow-up phone call and ask them soft touch questions like, would you like me to check on the availability of a specific tour? Or, you know, just see if there's any questions that you can answer for them and start building that relationship with them. And that discount deadline can be found in our promotional material. So again, pulling up our handy dandy website. Our mailer program, if you click on the latest mailer, our current discount deadline is today, the 25th of March. So you can find that on our latest promotional information. It'll always have that deadline. Lastly, make this big. My computer is not frozen, which it looks like it is. Okay. We don't have this number available on our website because we don't want clients to call us directly. Oh, working from home, so much fun. There we go. So you have to do this agent training to get the contact information for us. So if our hours are Monday through Thursday, 8 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. And then Friday, we take it a little bit easier. It's 8:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. And that's Eastern Standard Time. And you'll get a live reservations team member to help you make your booking. So then that number is up here on the screen. It's 800-968-9161. And then in order to talk to the reservations team, then you would press 1 and you'll get somebody from there. And then if you want to order brochures, if you don't have any, or if you want to speak to a sales team member about becoming an advertising partner with us, then you would dial that same number, 800-968-9161, and then press 3 instead of 1. And then you would get either me or our sales director, Justin. And that is pretty much it.
Okay, actually,
do we have any other questions?
Yeah, I do have a couple questions here for you. Can you tell them again what the agent website is? What the partner website is?
Let me go back. It's right there. partneragents.imagetours.com.
Great. And somebody's also asking if we can email a copy of this webinar, which the answer is yes, we will do that for you. We are recording it.
Yes,
also,
absolutely.
A copy of the recording will be on our website, which is jacksfax.com, underneath the advisor training tab. So that will be available.
Yep, and that's like exactly why we're doing this webinar too, is so that it is here recorded for people to use if you have other agents in your office that want to learn how to work with us, and this is what that's for.
Excellent. So I'm sorry I interrupted. Did you have something else, or was that it?
Me?
Yes.
Nope, that was it. I was just like providing further answer to that question.
Oh, okay, great. I didn't know if the presentation was done. Another question, can you repeat your hours, please?
Yes, absolutely. It is Monday through Thursday, 8 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. And then on Fridays, it's 8:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. And that's Eastern Standard Time. We are in Michigan.
Excellent. Okay. There don't seem to be any other questions. So if that is the end of the presentation, that was great. Thank you. A good nuts and bolts presentation. Oh, wait, we have another question coming through here.
Okay.
No, just a thank you.
So, you were very welcome.
Great. So, Sophia, again, well, wait a minute. Can't jump off yet. Oh. Oh, another thank you for the presentation. So good. Okay.
Oh, good. I'm happy you guys are enjoying it.
Excellent. All right. Well, thank you for that presentation. It was informative. And please keep your eyes peeled. Travel advisors, please keep your eyes peeled to your email for future training invitations. And I hope everybody stays strong, stays healthy. We will get through this. Thank you all for joining us, and we will see you next time.
Awesome. Thanks, Doug.
Thank you. Take care now.